In this morning's Business Insight, we're pleased to have Cincinnati City Council member Yvette Simpson with us. Simpson was re-elected to a second term in November in a race that saw some other incumbents lose their seats. She has been a streetcar supporter from the very beginning and helped lead the recent challenge to keep the project going. Yvette Simpson joins Business Courier publisher Jamie Smith to talk about what else, other than the streetcar, is on the agenda as council resumes its work in 2014, led by new mayor John Cranley. Yvette and Jamie.
Thanks, Peg. Yvette, thank you so much for being here today.
It's my pleasure to be here, Jamie.
I said your second term just started.
Second term, yeah.
And we're now in 2014. Tell us what we have to look forward to in the city this year.
You know, I think it's going to be, there are going to be a lot of great things. There's going to be a lot of big issues. So the big issues are going to be the pension. We have to deal with the pension, and we have to do it soon. And so that's kind of the big, 100-pound gorilla. We also have to look at the budget. It's going to be a tough budget cycle, and we have to do that with the rating agencies watching us. And so we'll see how this new council comes together and making what are going to be really tough and critical decisions. Right now, it looks like we have about a $20 million deficit that we're going to have to bridge, and we have to make a big showing in our deficit, in our pension contribution and the payments that we make. So that's going to be probably take all of the air out of the room really this year. But on the positive note, the last council made some great investments. You're going to see Pogue's Garage under development here. We're going to get a grocery store downtown. And what this council is going to have to do is define itself and decide what are going to be the big projects that we're going to be supporting, of course, aside from the streetcar going forward, because everybody expects that the momentum is going to continue. So where will we see development happen going forward?
Right. Now, we talked earlier in our first segment about the city management opening and the interim city manager.
Yes.
How involved is council with that?
Well, we just approved. So what happens is they're going to do a nationwide search, and then several people will apply. The mayor will make the decision of who he wants to bring before council, and then we have to approve. And I think you're going to see a very involved council in that process.
Okay.
We had Milton Mahoney for a very, very long time. The city is in a very important place as far as moving forward, and we have to have a manager that can lead us. He's also going to have to make a lot of important decisions.
Right.
We're losing our budget director. We still haven't replaced our economic development director. We still have an interim there, and you might see some other individuals leaving, and those spots will have to be filled. So we'll be looking for a leader who will be able to select great people to lead departments going forward.
That's great. That's great. Now, is there any we talked about the pension and the budget, but is there any other big struggles you see out there that are going to take a lot of your time starting off?
Well, if you've watched the news, crime is a big issue, and so we've started the year on a not very good note. We've got a great new chief, but he hasn't been able to get his feet grounded just yet. So we'll be watching crime very closely. We'll be looking at a new recruit class potentially, because we have to get our numbers up. We might see another fire recruit class, and again, that takes money. Yeah. So all that has to kind of get sorted out in the budget conversation, because I think everyone understands we need more police. So you're going to have a huge conversation about crime. Our mayor is dedicated to minority inclusion. We just decided to embark upon a disparity study, so we'll see what happens with the recommendations. And I think poverty and disparity is going to be a big issue that this council is going to grapple with this year too. Okay. And so how do we make sure, because we got some information from the health department about disparity in life expectancy based on neighborhood. You're hearing about, our numbers in child poverty went up to 53%. So it'll be interesting to see how this council deals with those big issues.
Well, I promised you we weren't going to talk about the streetcar, and we're not.
No one ever keeps that promise.
One of the things that we may have seen, one of the things we may have seen from the struggles with the streetcar is this council's they're gonna get together and they're gonna bump some heads, and they're going to look deep into the matters. Do you agree with that?
It will be primetime news. I think you've got a mix of personalities and individuals who want to be heard. I think the last council was really about decision-making and not a lot of conversation, at least not, in chambers. You're going to hear a lot on the floor. We've already started having 3- and 4-hour committee meetings. So it's going to be a very vocal group, and you're going to hear a lot of dissension, and it's probably going to be fun and very interesting.
One more question I have. The citizens of the city, especially those pro or against the streetcar, came out strong in late 2013. What advice do you have to the citizens of Cincinnati to continue to be involved in a way that's going to help the city?
Get involved. Come down and see us. If there's an issue that you're concerned about, be vocal about it. I mean, I think what inspired me about the kind of We Believe group is that they were not going to take no for an answer. They organized themselves. They were prepared. And you know what? Council has to listen to that. And so I've encouraged all kinds of groups. If there's an issue that you're concerned about, get together. Come down to council. Demand that you be heard. And I think we'll see a lot more progress progress and a lot more coming from that group in the future.
Good, I'm glad to hear it.
It's really exciting.
Well, thanks so much for being here, and thanks for serving our city for your second term, and we hope to have you on here again soon.
I would love to. Thank you.
All right, Yvette, thanks.